welcome to the Smart Built Environment session on the Swedish Innovation Days. Today we are going to meet two strategic innovation programs, Smart Built Environment and Infra Sweden 2030. We're also going to meet the winning team in the innovation competition that you're going to hear on. Today with me I have Camilla Byström and Kristina Gabrieli. Welcome. You are going to do some presentations, and after that we are going to meet the winning team in the competition. Okay.
Thank you. I am Kristina Gabrieli, and I'm the program manager of the strategic innovation program Smart Built Environment, and I would like to present a little bit about the program. And just to put it in the context, there are several innovation programs, and approximately 6 of them are dealing with the built environment sector. And today, as Therese mentioned, we are going to listen to Infra Sweden and to Smart Built Environment. Smart Built Environment is a program that deals with the digital transformation of the built environment sector. And we think there is a really good opportunity to take the positive aspects of digitalisation into the sector, together with industrial thinking and industrial processes. And of course the overall goal is to create a more sustainable built environment sector. A little bit fact about Smart Built Environment. The programs, as for all innovation programs, are thought to be 12-year. We are going through evaluations every 3rd year approximately. And today in Infra Sweden we have approximately 160 projects that have been ended or is ongoing, and over 300 different parties are taking part in the program. The office is at IQ Samhällsbyggnad. It's the Center for Innovation and Quality in the Built Environment. We have some overall objectives for the program, and of course these objectives are to put all the sectors in the same direction, and it's about reducing the climate impact, of course, but it's also about being more effective and more productive. Maybe the most important but also the hardest part is to create new value change and new business models. And this is something we hope that the actors in the program will be able when they are participating in the program. Well, to put the built environment sector in a little bit of a larger context, it's the biggest sector in Sweden, with over 250,000 different organizations that are taking part to create the built environment. And this is really important to have with us when we are looking in what we try to achieve, because this means the sector is rather fragmented, but to be able to do the digital transformation, we need to go in the same direction, and we need to cooperate between the public sector and the private sector and the academia. Well, why do we think that digitalization is important for our sector? Well, of course, we want to create better products and more climate better for the climate, and we want to have better processes, and we also want to have safer processes in the construction sector. I would like to stress the thing that needs to be in place to be able to digitalize or to make the digital transformation. And this is the information infrastructure that needs a lot of standardization, and it needs to be the same words we use, and we are not really there today in the sector. New business models is nothing that the program can do, but the actors must do it themselves. But the program can put the foundation to things that need to be in place to be able to offer the sector to create business models and new value chains and cooperate in a new manner. Well, I said there were 6 programs, more or less addressing the built environment sector, and some of them partly, but Smart Built, what is our focus? Well, it's just a combination between BIM, Building Information Modeling, geodata. Those are really focusing on information connected to objects in the built environment, and also to combine this with industrial processes. And this actually hadn't been done in this way before the program was started. And we think that the potential is very good to use this for creating a sustainable built environment. The program, as I mentioned, consists of these 3 parts: geodata, BIM, and industrial processes, or industrial thinking, if you prefer to mention that. But of course, there are other technologies that are really important to connect with these overall goals, overall work. And this is, for instance, AI and automation, robotization, and a lot of things that are really developing very fast right now. In the program, we work with a lot of different tools. We work with open calls, and we work with strategic projects. And later today, you are going to hear a little bit about innovation contest that we have made in the program. We will also hear about innovation competition from Infra Sweden. But before I leave to Infra Sweden, I will present some of the results and some of the projects we have done in the program. This is just to show a little bit about the spread in our project. We have large projects that are focusing on the planning and the community building process. And one project's called Smart Planning for Construction, and this looks into all the processes driven by the public sector. It's a lot of early phases, but also in the facility managing in the processes. And another project, it's digital community build process, where we are looking how could you digitalize the master plan process or the building permit process, or and there has been a lot of work done with actors from all over Sweden, municipalities from north to south in Sweden have participated in the work, and there are really good results and support for other municipalities that want to digitalize their own processes. And we also have created in several projects that has now resulted in a platform, a digital platform for life cycle information in the built environment. It's called Nationella riktlinjer, and this you can find in a web page, and this is now ended as a Smart Build project, but is managed in the future by an organization called BIM Alliance. Another project that is quite nice, and it's a little bit smaller project than the 2 at the beginning. It's called Stadsträd, or urban trees. And this actually is a tool to be able to take into account that also trees needs a little bit space when you plan the urban areas. And by these tools you can have the trees in the master plan and in the planning process, so that you are not thinking that the tree is just one small stick reaching up in the sky. The trees need space that you need to take into account when creating roads and houses and so on. A small project that has developed in one step in our program. We also have projects that are more not so technical. They are more into management and leadership. And one of the projects that has been led from the academia has studied what are the barriers and drivers for a digitally driven industry transformation in the built environment sector. And this result from this project is taken into account when creating new development project and innovation project in the program, as well as outside the program. And then we have quite a large project. Our biggest project in the program, it's called the Smart Construction Site, and this focuses on issues that are really near to the construction site and on the construction site. And one of the most important thing is to really have the connection to be able to work more safe and smarter on the construction site. And there are 4 different test beds that has been led by different actors in the sector. But overall in this project you have approximately 50 organizations taking part of this project. And for instance, I can mention there is a sort of smart container that gets the delivery of goods very much more effective and not as a disturbing moment at the construction site. We also have methods to make the part where you lift heavy pieces on the construction site in a more safe manner by visualizing and using the same technology as you can use in autonomous cars. And then a totally different project, it's microlearning. It's a platform and a method for being able to raise your own competence by short education that you can reach from the digital platform. And we have tested this platform on 3 different projects in Smart Built Environment. And the method, it can be a little bit different regarding to the project, but the aim is that you can be able to do this when you are maybe on a train or you are having a walk or something. You can learn a little bit about the projects and the result at a time. We have also made an international environmental scan on how innovations and digitalizations are being treated all over the world. And this environmental scan, it's interesting because it shows that in the built environment sector we have quite a far way to go to be digitalized or digitally transformed. However, there are very much good examples where initiatives have taken in other countries, and we are now connecting to some of the other hubs that are working quite the same as we do in Smart Built Environment. Well, then I will like to just give you a little bit teaser about what you are going to hear later today. You are going to hear about the chain. It's the winning team in our innovation competition, and we will like to present this later together with some background why we were doing an innovation competition. So now I will leave the floor to Camilla. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Kristina, for your presentation. I will talk about Infra Sweden. We are a program that's much alike Smart Built, but we are focusing on the transportation infrastructure system. And of course, a country like Sweden is very strongly dependent on an efficient transport system. It has to be reliable, safe, and sustainable. And today in Sweden, a number of research and innovation programs is focusing on vehicle development and mobility. Not so many are focusing on the actual transport infrastructure, but we are doing that. At the same time, transport infrastructure is of great importance. And the structure that's being built is being out there for a very long time. So both the building and the maintenance is important issues. The scope for the strategic program, Infra Sweden, is the nation's roads and railways, but also other infrastructures in order to make other modes of transport possible. That could be, for an example, drones or autonomous cars. And the transportation system in Sweden is Challenger. It's a large and sparse country. We have a population of over 10 million people, and from north to south it's over 1,500 kilometers. So we have to provide travel and transport opportunities also for areas with very few inhabitants. And the same trends work as driving forces for the development for transportation infrastructure as for most other areas. These trends are sustainability, digitalisation, urbanization, service-based economy, and security and vulnerability. And of course, sustainability is one of our time's greatest challenges. So the construction sector needs to be able to produce fossil-free and climate-neutral transport system solutions, both when building and maintaining. The areas for innovation for Infra Sweden is how to manage and to utilize the innovations, and how to make the sector sustainable and also resilient, and to develop the process for construction works, and also to develop the business models and the management of the procurements and contracts. And also we deal with development in materials like concrete and steel. And we need a sector that attracts competent people. And digitalization, as Christina has talked about, is a tool for both productivity and sustainability. And as I said, sustainability is the focus of the program. And our vision is to make a competitive transport infrastructure that enables climate-neutral transports. And what we are doing as a strategic innovation program is holding open calls for new innovation projects. And we are also arranging innovation competitions. We do coach ongoing projects, and we have lots of seminars, and we work as a collaboration area. And our primary target groups are the owners of the infrastructures, could be both cities and transportation administration, and businesses that is working with development and also maintain management, and the research institutes and innovators. And we need them to cooperate in our projects and at our seminars. And right now we are having a call, and the call we are having open right now is about solutions for faster conversions to sustainable transport infrastructures. So we will later find out what the new ideas that will come up from that call. But we have a great number of ongoing projects and also finished projects. And Fredrik Lekarp will tell you more about some of them. Welcome, Fredrik.
Okay. My name is Fredrik Lekarp, and I'm the deputy manager, program manager for InfraSweden 2030. The program has so far funded and supported a portfolio of 130 plus innovation projects, covering a wide range of development areas related to transport infrastructure. And just to give you an idea about the projects, I'm going to mention a few examples. The first one is iBridge, which is about using sensors and advanced measurement technology to develop a digitized and automated bridge inspection and assessment concept in order to reduce the cost of bridge management. The whole idea is about making a support system that is simple to use with smart apps, but is based on advanced technologies using smart sensors, cloud-based data management, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and also digital twin technology. The next project is called Wavebreaker, which was about a field study and verification of a patented innovative damper for traffic noise. The damper is able to reduce traffic noise by 3 to 5 decibel, shorten the height of a noise screen by up to 1.5 meters, and also a potential cost saving of up to 50%. It is a patented innovation owned by a startup company with the same name. And thanks to the project in the program, the development phase is now completed, and the product is heading for an international market, already in discussion with several manufacturers and international partners. The next project I'd like to mention is automated construction, focusing on using industrial robots for preparing reinforcement in concrete structures such as bridges. The aim is to replace the heavy manual work that is normally required in a time-critical activity in a construction process. And this is an ongoing project with several positive expected impacts, such as increased industrialization in the construction industry, increased productivity, a better and consistent quality, improved work environment, etc., etc. The next project is about winter road maintenance. This project was able to set up and successfully implement a complete system that uses actual and up-to-date weather forecast to optimize the maintenance route, sending signals to the machinery in the field to implement and use appropriate action to different sections of the road. And besides the positive environmental aspects or impacts, the system improves traffic safety and work environment, and also reduces the cost of winter maintenance. The next project is called TAC, or Tunnel Automatic Crack Detection, and the project was able to develop and test a new technique that uses advanced mobile mapping system and image analysis to detect and record cracks on tunnel lining. It then creates a digital twin of the tunnel itself, and by using advanced data processing and machine learning, makes risk assessments that are necessary for maintenance and management systems. And the final project I'm going to mention is called Smart Cement for Novel Monitoring System. And the project is about creating an ideal solution for monitoring concrete structures such as bridges by developing a conductive concrete with self-monitoring capabilities. The project was able to develop a nano-modified cementitious binder with high electrical conductivity, and they used that binder to create sensors that could be attached on the surface of the existing concrete structure for measuring several properties at the same time, strains, temperature, crack formation, and moisture. And usually you would need different sensors to measure different properties. This is all tested and verified in full scale. And the business model is now being developed with a possible startup company to take it further to the market. And the market potential is quite large, with tens of thousands of bridges in Sweden alone. And from what we understand, there are already several foreign companies that have shown interest in the technology. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fredrik. Now we're going to talk about innovation competitions that we are having in our program. So I introduce to you Beatrice Hellos, one of our senior advisors. Welcome, Beatrice.
Thank you, Camilla. And this is the part where we will talk more about innovation competitions. This is one of the tools that Infra Sweden use as a part to challenge organizations. And we call it Infra Awards. And we work with this tool ongoing. And we seek to find innovation solutions. And for the year of 2021 and 2022, we seek innovation solutions for faster and resource efficient development. And the sector that we are active in is transport infrastructure. And I will tell you about how we you make this competition, and also a short brief about our previous winner. And we seek a collaboration between academy, the private sector, and also the companies in the construction area. And the winner of 2021 was the digital management platform of Geotechnic. This is the area where we see a great potential, and we hope to help this project further into also construction and being a program that can help the environment. And for the year of 2022, we will have a new competition. It will be together with the Strategic Innovation Program of Lighter. And this will be a collaboration between the two programs. And as you can see from the name, we will seek lighter ways of building constructions. And we hope for your contribution to this contest. And in order to do that, we hope that you will contact us through the main address that we see here. Thank you, and over to the studio.
Thank you very much, Beatrice, for your presentation.
And I would like to say thank you to Camilla Byström och Kristina Gabrieli for these great presentations. And you can find more information about Smart Built Environment in Infra Sweden 2030 at smartbuilt.se and infrasweden2030.se. Now we are going to tell you some things about innovation contests that have been going on in Smart Built Environment and the winning team that is called Shane. But first of all, Kristina Gabrieli is going to tell you some things about this concept. Welcome, Kristina.
Thank you, Therese. Well, in our strategic innovation program, a lot of things that are ongoing are development and development from the processes and the way we work today. And as one to be able to get a little bit more disruptive results, because we think we need this to be able to tackle the challenges. Then we wanted to investigate other methods, and that was how the idea about innovation competition started. Well, what do we believe that we could achieve by this competition? Well, of course, to accelerate the innovation in the built environment sector, but also empower the participating organizations so that they dare to think a little bit outside the box and also will be able to try this in cooperation with other organizations. So even new and maybe a little bit unexpected cooperations between organizations is one of the things we wanted to achieve. And of course, to develop proposals that may affect policies and such thing that could strengthen innovation in our sector. So we didn't start actually from zero when we started this. We had an earlier innovation competition as a little bit of role model, and it was called Transformative Infrastructure: Groundbreaking Innovations for Zero Emissions, and this was actually quite large innovation competition led by the Swedish Environmental Protection Agency with the support from Infra Sweden. So there were two teams in this competition competing against each other, and then the scope was to create a zero-emission bridge or between Sweden and Denmark. It was a rather nice competition, and we did some changes. We didn't just use the concept right as it was. So we did have 4 teams instead of 2 teams, and we had a little bit fewer participations in each team. And the participations in our competition was from the industry, the government, the academia, and from various parts of sectors and various sectors. And we had several, or I think it was 5 conferences with presentations, inspiration, and also actual work in the teams. Where they were away from their ordinary, traditional environmental work, and they could cooperate in their own team to find the best solutions for effective handling of materials from civil engineering, the civil engineering part of the built environment.
Thank you. Now we are going to hear more about the winning concept and meet the winning team. Welcome, Johan and Elisabeth.
Thank you so much, Therese. Hello, my name is Johan Torell. I'm an advisor within the field of digitalization at the WSP in Sweden. And this is something I really like.
And my name is Elisabeth Höglund. I work for a company called Tyrens, also in Sweden. I'm a senior advisor in environmental questions. And one of my passions is waste management, which is actually a big part of this presentation.
Yes. So, this product, which have the English name chain, is actually translated from the Swedish word KEDJA, which is the equivalent. And it's a product that is coupled to our names as well. So it's me and Elisabeth and 2 other colleagues that have helped us to develop this concept. So this concept is that we take analog information and put it into a digital world. So take what data that we have and bring it to the cloud. So what is this good, Elisabeth?
Yeah, actually, this idea, they actually thought it was so good, so we won the contest. So we're actually the winning team, which is kind of nice. we will start talking about materials and waste flows in the construction sector. This is a picture from a construction site in Stockholm a couple of years back. And when you look at it, this is actually the storing of the construction materials. It doesn't look so good, does it?
No, I would say not. There's a big mess in the field there.
Yes, and this is not every construction site looks like this, but actually most construction sites don't have a lot of information about their material flows into the construction site. They have somebody who orders, and then it arrives, and then they just have it. And when they run out, they tell somebody. So if you have a site looking like this, do you think it's easy to find the material you need? Do you think it's easy to know whether you have run out or if the material that has arrived?
I think it speaks for itself. It's a real mess out there, and it's very hard to tell either of those things that you talked about. So the answer is no.
It's so nice with rhetorical questions when you have a partner who actually says what you want them to say. We're also going to talk a bit about the flow in the other end, that is the waste flow. Waste management today is quite important. It has how you handle the waste from the construction sector affects the climate. If you're good at being resource efficient, you also reduce climate effect, but also by, of course, sorting and recycling materials. But also, if you handle waste incorrectly, it also has effects on things like groundwater, and it's also common, like if you look at this picture here, this is from a recent scandal in Sweden, actually, where a company was cheating and storing a lot of construction waste in a site where they weren't allowed to have it. And actually, after a while, the CEO was put in prison, but the waste pile is still there, and it still affects water sources for drinking water sources for people. So, and the reason why this happens is because to handle your waste correctly is actually expensive. So there's a lot of money to be made from cheating with waste management. Also, there are very many different actors involved in the chain, so it's quite difficult to have control over your waste flows when you are a construction company. You leave your waste to somebody who is authorized, and they give it on to somebody else, and then somewhere along the line you lose track. So this clearly you can draw the conclusion that there's both environmental things to gain from getting control over your waste flow and of your materials flow, but there is also some money to be earned from that. So we're going to explain the system by talking about the current situation. And what you see here is an organization schedule for a construction project. It's not really important what the different boxes say if you can't read them. What happens in a construction project normally is that you need materials to build, so somebody orders. It's usually the purchase function. They order materials. The material is delivered to the site. Somebody receives it. If you have a very big construction project, of course, it's kind of organized. But for a lot of construction projects, it's not that well organized. So somebody receives it. And then when it comes to waste, usually you order somebody to come and collect the waste when the bin is full. And you don't really have that much control of it. Then after a couple of months, you get some statistics from the waste management company that says that it was X amount of, X tons of plastic waste from this site. And you don't really know what it means. And that's where our system actually comes in. we take this analog information that exists today with physical delivery notes and weight tickets from waste, and we actually make it digital, so we have a digital flow of all this information. So we collect the data, we process the data, and we aggregate it, and we present it. So we present it both in real time, so you can know whether this material has arrived or not, but we also aggregate it so you can get some statistic and you can actually use it. And the point is that you get this situation. Everybody who needs to access this information can actually access it in real time. And what's the point? Well, the point is that, for example, something that project managers do a lot is that they approve invoices. So when you approve the invoices, you want to know whether this has been delivered or not. So this is a way you can always know in an easy way if your material has actually arrived on site. Also, you maybe want to compare the materials you have used to the plan. Is it enough? Do we have enough for the project parts that are coming now? Also, you can do a lot of environmental analysis, like calculating your carbon emissions, or how much waste are we actually generating here? Is this normal? Should we do something else? So there's a lot of analysis that you can do from this measurement and actually make a difference in real time on the site, instead of getting all this information with many months delays. So now that's like the basic concept, and now Johan will actually tell you how it works in a tiny bit more technical way.
Yes, thank you. I will try to be as specific as I can to try to explain to you how we will achieve the circularity of this concept. So please enjoy. The very basic idea is that we have a lot of information already that is analog within the construction site. So why try to generate new data when we already have data? So what kind of data exists? It is the delivery notes and the weight receipts. There are two very specific documents that we have located within the site. We know that this is information already created, and it is very often analog, at least in Sweden, and we will very much suspect it is like this around the world. So if we just gather this data to our computers, then we can achieve this concept and this process that Elizabeth was talking about. How do we do this? We know that we have digital systems that generate this data, and if you have a digital system that generates data, then we know it is possible to fetch it if we have an API. If we don't have an API, we can scan the data with our phones, just like we can do with our bank payments at home. When we scan our receipt there, then we have the information within our phone, which is a computer. So that is what we're trying to achieve right here. We aggregate it and we process it. So why is this such a good idea? Well, as we talked about before, all these things that we could achieve, that is a good thing, but it also a business case that is very solid. So we have done rough estimations within this project, and we can see that the costs are somewhere around 0.3, 0.5 million euros in the initial development costs. Thereafter, it can scale depending on how many customers and products you have, and there's some administration. But we really think that the initial cost for doing the first project will not be an astronomical amount of money, because the concept is easy to construct in a digital way. The business case is also that we can see that we will sell this product with license fees, and after having discussions both internally and externally, we see that we might get a payment of around 6,000 euros per year and project. So say that we have a very large infrastructure project with millions of euro each year in costs. We think that this fee is within line what they pay other of their software services. If we would use this product, our rough estimations says that we can reduce material usage by 2%. This would mean that you could save this cost that you paid for the development cost for this product and the license fee very, very quickly within the large construction projects. Even within small construction projects, we think that we will pay off our product very quickly, but this very large project would pay off even quicker. Our very rough estimations again is that if we would have a company that would run this project within 100 projects, and when we look at the license fee and compare it with the development cost, then somewhere roughly around 100 projects we will pay off ourselves. And after that, it's only almost pure profit as it is with the software services.
And maybe we will have to do some kind of support, I guess.
Of course, as well. It's only the rough estimations, but somewhere around 100 projects, we will think that this is the cost that will be our limit.
Absolutely. Also, of course, what we were showing in the last slide was that this is like a win-win situation, but there is also a win situation on the environmental case. And maybe I should comment a bit on this, that our calculations are based on that using chain would reduce the use of materials in construction projects with 2%. This is an estimate, but it's based on experience from projects that you can actually do quite a lot with when you start paying attention to the material flows and the waste flows. You can actually take measures that are quite easy to take that actually reduces the materials. It's just that today you don't measure it anyways, so you don't see it. Anyway, if we take this assumption then that it would reduce the use of materials with 2% in a Sweden context. If this is used on all construction sites in Sweden, it would mean 4 million tons less material every year. And that would mean a decrease of 15,000 to 640,000 tons of carbon dioxide equivalents. That's a horrible word. Every year. As you can see, there's a big uncertainty here, and that's of course because waste can consist of many different things, and materials can consist of very different things. So depending on where your saving is, it will be a different amount of carbon dioxide. But anyway, this actually equals somewhere around 0.03 to 1.2% of Sweden's climate emissions. And that is actually not bad for this kind of tool.
I would actually say it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I would say it's pretty amazing. And this win-win situation where we both save money and we save the effect on the environment, I think this is the kind of product that we need.
Yeah, I agree. Also, as a bonus, you get this extra control over the waste management, so it reduces cheating in waste management. And this is actually something that authorities are pushing for very much in Sweden. So that's like a bonus achievement from this system.
Yes.
I think you're next.
I am. So how is this product supposed to be developing over the years? So as I talked about before, we look at the very simple data that is already aggregated. It's not aggregated, but it's created at the construction site or at the systems that are connected to the construction sites. So we fetch this data and then we put it in our computers and we make the analysis over there. That's our really basic step. This is just the first step of many steps which we see that we could use with this platform, because it is really a platform that starts off with doing the easiest task where we gain as much money and as much environmental efficiency as possible. And the next steps, some are very crystal clear. For example, with the geofencing, where you can see that if you have a truck arriving at the construction site with some construction materials that will have some cost of money and it will have some cost for the environment, then you can see when it flows into the construction site and you can log it over there. That's a really next step.
A very good thing with geofencing is that you can actually decide where the materials are supposed to end up. Usually when you have a construction site, you can have parts of this construction site where you can't go or put things because of, for example, biological reasons, like there is a rare plant or something there. Or maybe you have different geological there can be reasons why you can't put things in different places. And with geofencing, you can actually decide where it has to go, which is a good thing.
Yes, so geofencing is really the next good step we see here. And after that, we can see lots of other steps we can go when we have this platform to stand on, to have other functionalities which will make this product even better. So just for an example, if you connect our product to your internal climate system that you have at your company with one of our APIs, then you will probably save a lot of time that you, instead of looking at different papers, realizing what kind of effect does our company have, you can see it straight away with this product. But of course, there's a lot of things that you can do when you have this initial platform. So, Shane is a digital product. It's a digital tool that you would like to have in your toolbox, because you know then that if you have it, you will have better knowledge of what you're doing, and you will have a better possibility to visualize in a way so you can understand your costs and your environmental effect even better than you are doing today. And because that you can do it, then you have a better possibility to do smart decisions that will save costs, environmental effect, and would save time within the projects. And that's the really key that we will see this product will do for everybody involved using this device.
So all in all, Chain is the contractor's tool to control and assess materials and waste flows. And it will actually lead to sustainable materials and waste flows. And that's the whole idea.
So thank you everybody for listening to me and Elisabeth today. As mentioned, we had 2 other colleagues within this project that worked with us, and you can find all our contact details below if you have any ideas or questions about what we did, how we did it, and what our results were. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Johan and Elisabeth. This was the Smart Built Environment session of the Sweden Innovation Days. Now we are going to show you a short movie about Smart Built Environment, and thank you so much for watching.
Digitalisation is one of the greatest societal changes we have ever seen. And digital development and everything that it influences is advancing at lightning speed. In order to meet the challenges of climate change, growing cities and housing shortages, while still remaining competitive, we need to change the way we work within the Swedish built environment sector. We need to use digitalisation as a driver of change, and we need to do it now. Smart Built Environment is one of Sweden's strategic innovation programs and a unique long-term initiative that will allow us to develop a quicker, more cost-effective and more sustainable approach to the built environment. Today it sometimes feels as though we start all over again at every stage of the construction process and for every new building and infrastructure project. We need to establish digital systems and a common language, which in turn will allow us to work smarter and more effectively. Standardized digital processes can help us eliminate duplicated tasks related to planning and permitting. We can also develop object-based digital models to plan, build and manage the built environment efficiently and more creatively. For example, this window and all of the other elements in a construction project can be rendered as digital models, loaded with information about their characteristics and specifications. And so, right from the start, we can compare hundreds of options in order to find the best solutions. To create a sustainable built environment, we also need to have a life cycle perspective. We need to reduce our consumption of resources. We need to have a flexible and at the same time long-term approach towards construction and management. And last but not least, we need to be able to reuse and recycle materials, or at least dispose of them properly when it's time to demolish or rebuild. Digitalizing and structuring environmental data can allow us to achieve this. Smart Built Environment is the largest initiative ever taken to digitalize the Swedish built environment sector. And we truly hope that more companies, researchers and others will join us on the journey. Because now is the time to get on board.